Straighten up and fly right. Welcome back to another episode, kids. Bob, Alan, Andrew, Uncool Cats. Today we're doing Ben Harper fart. Hey-o!
Bleep that one.
Yep. Fight for Your Mind from 1995. Wow. That was a Freudian slip right there.
Tell us what you really think about the album.
And the funny thing is, this is my album, too. Oh, man, we're going to have to recover from that one. Sorry, kids. Sorry, Ben. Ben Harper. All right, let's get into this album. This is a pretty serious album, too, and we're joking around. Stop your joking around.
I don't joke.
I'm
the most serious of the three.
I'm being really serious.
I know it. Well, I'm going to try and get this back on the rails here. I brought this album to the boys. I saw Ben Harper, courtesy of the Horde tour that we've talked about on the Blues Traveler episode. He was one of the ones I saw on there. When I originally saw him, he'd sit up there in almost like a folding chair with a guitar on his lap, played it like a slide, and then just the sounds that came off of that thing, I didn't understand what was happening in front of me when I saw him the first time. And I mean, he's got the voice to match. Usually you got the guitar skills and maybe not the voice, but he's got everything. Great songwriter too, I think.
Very good songwriter.
And that's kind of my brief opinion, but I'll leave it up. I want to see what you guys think of it. Whoever wants to go first.
Bob,
let's let Alan go first.
What? You've been sneaky freaking today. Both episodes, dude. All right. So, here you go. I like this, Andrew. You need to drink more often.
Tell my wife that, would you?
So, Ben Harper. I have never really given him a lot of listens. I don't understand what's so funny.
I think he's still laughing about my Freudian
the
slip.
Ben Harper, the farter. So, okay.
Let's just call him Ben from here on out.
Just Ben. Right. So,
But you know how sometimes you just can't.
It just hits you.
Can't get it out of your
so
mind.
just like I'm a little distracted, Bob. Since you took your hat off, I don't think I've ever seen your head so smooth. What did you do? Did you do something different?
Wax, buddy.
I'm telling you. I mean, it looks good. Don't get me wrong.
It gets the chicks.
Well, I had to clean the table. I had some lemon pledge down here.
The nuns love it when he does that.
Wrong episode.
When Bob uses that lemon pledge, it just, whew. All right, back on track.
Sorry.
So,
Ben Harper.
what I knew of Ben Harper was, Always Steal My Kisses From You. That kind of vibe. Loved that vibe. And but I never went deep into his, discography. But I'll tell you this: every time he comes on, or it's come up, I've listened. I like it. Like you said, he's a musician's musician. Now, listening to the lyrics on this album, I think he and I have this. It seems like he and I have the same political and theological leanings. I like this guy. I seem to like his worldview. And you know what? If he wanted to start a new revolution, I'd probably be right there with him. Because, he's speaking out against, the stupidity of our government.
Let me ask you before we get any further, and I don't mean to hold you,
go right ahead.
One thing, especially with this album, and the one before this, he kind of got off this style a little bit with a couple other bands. He had some reiterations. But like this first album and this album is almost Marley-esque the way I think.
I agree.
Okay,
and
the way he writes.
Care to expound on what that means?
I feel like the way he's not afraid to bring in politics to a song, but it kind of like we talked about in the other episode. It's political, but yet at the same time, it's more almost like sociological than political. Like there's that political side to it, but it's more like sociological, and it's not so preachy like we've talked about too.
I mean, he's
making just like Bob Marley, like it paints the picture of what's happening.
That's exactly
what
he reminded me.
And I love the way you said it. It's not preachy, but he is saying something, and it's not so far, and it's for the people, but it's not It's not like in a socialist way. He's just saying, look, we got to get to some sanity. Like kind of like wraps the whole thing kind of wraps up in excuse me, Mister. Where he says. He's talking about this guy. He goes, I'm a mister too.
I love when that is the excuse me, mister, but I'm a mister.
I'm a mister
like
too.
You're offending me just because I'm a human, and
right.
I think that's a great line.
You're giving Mister a bad name.
Yep.
And when you look at where he's called out the politicians on this album, and he's getting to that, he's just like, hey, be a man.
Yep.
Make good decisions that not only that represent all of us. Right, so I really dig what Ben Harper is saying on this album in a lot of ways, and Bob, you and I have the same theological beliefs, and some of the things that he says in here that hints to his theology, it seems pretty sound, like it would line up with what you and I believe. Like for example, I have faith in a few things, divinity and grace, but even when I'm on my knees, I know the devil prays. We know that, and you and I are all about there is evil, and you got to stand up to it. Right, you got to understand that there is a battle going on.
He has a great line too. I believe in a few things: God, divinity, and love.
Yes,
or God, the devil, and love.
That's right. Yes, that's right. And that is such a great line. And he says because there's good deeds and there's good intention, and there is part as heaven and hell.
Yep.
So he's not. It sounds preachy, but it's not. He's just making a statement.
Yep.
Right. And so, I really dug this album lyrically. There were some moments that I did not like vocally or musically. Okay? That doesn't take away from his musicianship because he's a great vocalist.
Well, you know what? I would interject here that some of those things that we might not care for, he did intentionally.
Oh, I agree.
To serve the song.
And think about it. He's doing his own thing. He gets no radio play. He gets no support. So this is a guy.
He's humble.
Yeah. He's like, I'm doing this. If you like it, great. If you don't, so what? I respect that from an artist. So
and he's done how many albums? 16?
Something like that.
He's got and then he has like a bunch of different bands and
and
he married Laura Dern for a while.
Yeah, look, I always thought she was so fine. I really did. So anyway, so when he's also been successful because we gauge success. Success is gauged in part financially. Okay. So where I'm going with this, you probably know about this, is have you seen the Rig Rundown where he talks about his Dumble?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, Bob, this is a great story. You're going to love it as a musician.
So, Bob.
I'm going to tell you a story, Bob. You see what I did there?
And then I'll ask you a question.
You see what I did there? Yes. So there was this guy.
I got all tense all of a sudden. I don't know why.
There was this musician who decided back in the late 70s or mid 70s he's going to start making amps. And his name was Alexander Dumble. Okay? Almost.
Do Dumbles bounce?
Yeah.
Or no, that's Bumbles.
That's right.
Sorry.
It almost.
He's got a cookie place here on.
To me, it almost sounds like a
Dumble's
wizard
cookies.
name. It reminds me of Harry Potter and Dumbledore, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so he starts making these amps. Well, they become legendary, okay? And like right now, I mean, he would only make custom amps. So if you called him up, he would even turn down people like Clapton. Clapton come, I need you to make me an amp now. I ain't making an amp for you. He'd just pick and choose who he wanted. And sometimes he would pick the famous person, but sometimes he would just pick some musician. Hey, dude, would you make it? You never heard this guy. Yeah, I'll make you an amp. Come on. So you go up to the Hills. He lived like in Hollywood Hills or something. And first thing he would do is he'd just talk to you. What let's talk about your music style. And he would just he'd just sit there and he'd have this conversation with you. And he'd say, okay, now go away. I know who you are now. Go away. And he would craft you this amp, right? And so they become legendary. So right now, if you look up a Dumble amp, he's dead, so you can't make any more, right?
Man.
So
you can't get one.
The cheapest one you can find is $50,000. Some of them are hundreds of thousands.
Pocket change for
right.
you, Bob.
So where I'm going with this is this Rig Rundown. So with the people who have them, they typically only use them in recording sessions or very special, certain events. Ben Harper has one.
He's touring with that
baby. He tours with a Dumble. You know, and he'll get that. He'll show you. Yeah, look, this is the, and it's number 8.
Well,
it's
he
the
and his
8th.
mother have a music store.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, but to finish that thought, it's the 8th number ever made. So
I think he's very well connected musically.
yeah.
I think.
Now, let me ask you, because you say you always, well, not always, but sometimes you look him up live. Did you watch him live? And how he plays?
I didn't get that far.
and all?
But I'll tell you what
I'm so
I've done.
disappointed.
I know. I mean,
That's okay. That's what we'll do. We'll do the heavy lifting.
I mean, we'll
Bob.
do
Just
the
go ahead.
research and we'll just tell you all about it.
Did you see the look? He was looking at us like, "Are they for real? Are they really mad at me?" You can see the look on his face. I don't know. I think he was almost ready to fight too.
So you know that when we saw your shiny head, we were happy.
Yeah, we're like, shiny, happy people.
Sorry, I've let you down again.
All right, we're just messing with you,
Dumble.
Bob. We love you. All right, so go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
I don't remember what I was going to say. I wouldn't say it now if I did remember. What was I going to say?
I don't know. You need to stop derailing and just tell us what you want to say.
Yeah. I
Tell
don't
me
know.
what you really think. I don't know.
And here's how you let us know. You go, I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
And that way we know that you're going to
That's
say
why
something.
you
Yep.
used to do that.
That's why, yeah, I try not to do it
Okay.
anymore because y'all are hateful.
No,
people,
I-
so.
I really enjoyed it when you told us what you were going to ask. I will say this about Ben Harper's music. Oh, I know what I was going to say. What I'm starting to do, I'm starting to run out of enough time to listen to the things that I want to listen to.
Yeah.
And they include things like
A man of your
Tragically
age should
Hip.
have enough time to listen to whatever he wants to listen to.
Here's the thing.
That was a backhanded compliment right there.
It was.
a
That
backhand-
was well done.
It was.
That's a
It
was.
backhanded slap in the face.
You know,
You old bugger.
you and I keep getting called into HR, and sooner or later,
I know where I'm gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been told to tone it down a
I
little bit.
tell you, when Marilyn gets home, I'm going to explain this whole thing.
it's going to be like, no cupcakes for you.
Oh, man. I've got to tell you something.
Okay.
In
Tell
the
us.
last 2 weeks, she's made 660 cupcakes and 4 major cakes.
And how many cupcakes have you eaten in the past?
I think
Week
I've
or
had
so.
3.
Oh, that's it.
And one of them was yours. So
See, I was getting ready. That's the whole reason
she'll
I have
make
my
some
hand.
fresh ones
I'm like,
next week.
Where's our cupcakes?
I don't see any 3UC cupcakes.
That's what I'm saying.
I think maybe I'll have some when we
She
come
could
to your
have
house.
one with a 3, one with a U, and one with a C, and we got
Dude,
them done.
I like it.
Ah, and we'll have a picture to intro the.
Right, and
The
we need
episode.
to. Well, if y'all would start working Instagram better.
I've never figured out how
I'm
to
gonna
get
get
on
on
it
that.
yet.
I'm getting back
I
on
know.
that.
I look.
Yeah.
I keep all the. Whenever I have.
You'll have to help me with
Whenever
that.
Nevermore
I got
Hollows,
Instagram. We'll get on
whenever
it.
my other podcast is on another podcast, they go, dude, you need to be working social media. And I'm like, I don't have time.
Well, that's what I was saying.
I need to hire somebody.
Back to you brought me right back around to my
Okay,
thoughts.
so
That's
go
what
ahead.
he's.
So-
that was his whole. He's a
But
he's a
here-
magician, bringing it back around.
Here's the
I know, I'm
thing.
very clever.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
Does it
Tell
sound
us-
like anybody you know? You heard anybody on TV say that?
No, I don't watch TV.
And-
What's
and
TV?
Here's the thing.
I do, but we're not supposed to get political. on
Yeah.
this
No.
show.
Stop
Well,
it, Bob.
Okay. I'll drop
That
it.
will get you fired.
You can infer your own person on that,
Yeah.
and it better be the right one.
Let me
Just kidding.
infer this. No, we've looked at Cake,
Yes.
the group, the band,
Yes.
whatever you want to call them, the dessert.
And the food, if you want to go
yeah,
that far.
we've looked at that too. I looked at a lot of that in the last 2 weeks. But Tragically Hip,
Yes.
those King Gizzard,
And the Lizard Wizard.
yeah, and lots of things that I never ever would have stumbled on.
Yeah.
And now I have interest in listening to more of them and things that people suggest. We had a suggestion this week for Dream Theater.
Oh, you're gonna like Dream.
Now, wait a
Theater.
minute. I started listening to the album,
Yeah.
and I got a couple songs in, and I despised it. I
Well-
hated it so bad. But then what happened was they said that they had listened to the drum auditions after the drummer, which had been there 20 years, left, and they did all auditions. So then I got to hear what the guitar player did in a studio type setting rather than a live concert, and I thought, man, serious musicianship.
Well, that's why I thought, I'm not a fan of Dream Theater.
I'm not either.
Because they wear me out.
I'm not a fan of Dream Theater either.
Right. What did you say?
You said Dream Theater, and I said I'm not a fan of Dream Theater either.
You know what? I thought this was a safe space where, my Southern heritage is showing, and you're going to make fun of it. Gosh, I'm going to... Please bring back the cancel culture. So anyway, no, I hate the cancel culture. But I don't like the band, but I love their musicianship. So that's what I was thinking, that you might like it for that musicianship.
Exactly. And so then I found that now I want to listen to them a little more seriously, maybe an album or specific songs. And so that's what this kind of does for me. It makes me interested in delving into new stuff that I wouldn't have before.
Right. We have definitely broadened we've definitely broadened your horizon.
Does mean I'm going to like Ben Harper. I mean, good. And
I'm glad, because that's what I love, landing on something new.
Yeah.
I do, especially when you go, oh, this is my jam now, and you start getting deeper and deeper. It's that whole discovery thing.
Yeah. I think Cake did that for me.
Yeah,
because I really have a desire to. And your wife commented something about another album to listen to, and I started into it. I haven't finished it yet.
I wonder which one she said. I'll have to look at that. Motorcaded Generosity.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. And so I started it. And I thought, I like this one too. I like it.
I have become. I want to meet their horn player. I have got to meet this dude and go.
And that's what I noticed on. I know we're switching. We're switching bands, but I noticed when I started into this new album, not new, but new to me. There he was. Yeah, it was like,
and that's their first one. That was before. That was the one before Fashion Nugget.
Yeah, and I thought. It's continually consistent in that he's still in his own world.
I know, it's so refreshing. I'm like you. When I hear him kick in, I just get so tickled and uplifted because, like you said it best when we listened to it. He comes in at the spot where you go, why is he coming in there? What he's doing doesn't really make sense for the song if you think about it.
Goes off somewhere else.
I just want to meet this guy. I do. I just want to meet this guy and go, can you just tell me what you're thinking of when you're playing? When do you decide to come in? Yeah. Why?
And it's not like he's playing scales or something. He's playing something that's melodic. Right. It just doesn't.
And often very Mexican sounding.
It's crazy.
We have an Americana song. Let's go all Mexican on this horn solo.
Yeah, I like it. What
Ben Harper.
band is this?
Yep.
Ben Harper.
Let's get back to Ben and talk about Mr. Ben Harper.
Well, you talk about him for a while, and then I'll talk about him a little bit and let you know how I scored him.
To make a long story short.
Oh, here we go again.
I am going to tell you a brief story about a show we saw.
In person, no doubt.
So back,
I'm beginning to wonder. He's met everybody. We dropped acid on the back of a VW van.
Well, I did do that once, but that's a different story.
What has he done in his life other than concerts?
Drop acid.
Oh, good.
Man.
So I don't even know if my wife and I were married. I think we might have been. So we go down. This is when we were up in New York, and we decide, hey, we're seeing Ben Harper, and we're in Syracuse, and the concert was in Utica, about 45 minutes away.
Where that is?
So we get down there fine. Show starts just fine. Show is mind-blowing, fantastic. We walk out of that show. There's 3 feet of snow out there. In the time it took to watch that show, there was 3 feet of snow out there. So for 45 minutes on the highway, we're following tail lights making our own way back to Syracuse.
I've done something similar before, but not after.
So that was
show.
one of our little forays into Ben Harper.
So did you make it?
We did make it safe and sound,
Wow.
but it was a white knuckler all the way back.
So I've been, I think it was Utica, has a hill that you come to the stop sign, and I'm sure they've got 2 or 3 more hills up there. But you come to the stop sign and you're
Actually, the main drag is on that
on an angle,
Yep.
and then you take a right and go straight up. And I was driving a motor coach,
Nice.
and I made that turn to the right. I'm
You
telling you,
didn't go anywhere, did you?
we had a closet in the back of the bus and had metal coat hangers in there. I heard them going. I had it wound out in first gear, and I was losing ground.
Oh no!
And I thought, if I can't make it to the top, I've got to back down 4 miles down this hill.
No.
Oh, that was white knuckles all the way. Oh gosh.
Yeah,
So
but
anyway.
anyways, that was one of my shows.
Well, I like your story better.
Yeah.
But
no,
as
both
far-
stories were good.
Yeah, as far as the
Great
album
news.
goes, a lot of songs are just. I love this album. Of course, just like Bob Marley throws in a love song like "Ground On Down,"
Look,
a
man,
beautiful,
Yeah.
kind of a interesting way to make a love song. I think.
Yeah.
I thought he
Little
was being
hard.
preachy.
Well, and that song particularly almost had a Chili Peppers groove to it.
Yeah,
It really
I
did.
could-
If you
yep.
think it was the bass. No, watch Bob's like, who the hell are the Chili Peppers? Every episode we throw something out and Bob's just like, what the?
And "Ground On Down" too is a great headphone song.
Oh, I bet.
Because when you hear it in the headphones, he's got the whole, right, left thing going.
Oh,
It's-
that's
it's
what
awesome.
I found. I got a sound tube over there,
Yep.
and I would put it, pull it up on my phone. This album,
Yeah.
and I would walk around with the phone in my pocket and tube up here, and that's the way you need to listen to this album.
Yep.
Anybody, that's the way you need to listen to this album, with it close and
Yeah.
personal, because you get the inflections of his voice.
Yes.
That you don't
rasp.
get
He's got
any
a
other
little
way.
bit of a rasp.
Yep.
That's going on.
He's
Yep.
yeah.
So
Even the vocal parts that I didn't care for much, I liked them a whole lot better
Yep.
doing it up
Oh
close.
yeah, I mean, even the ones like you saying, even the ones that I didn't like, it's still so well done.
Yep.
And like on this, here's something I noticed. We all like rootsy music. We all do. I don't think I can ever recall hearing roots and funk together. But there's funk and roots at the same time on this particular
Yeah.
on a lot of these songs. But you were talking about a love song. If I can say this, gold to
Nope,
me.
we're out of town.
Thank you. We'll be.
I was just getting ready to agree with him for the first time. Man.
I love everything about this song.
Yeah, I do
Everything.
too.
The bass guitar,
sound.
the guitar. It's on that almost island. He's good at somebody go, oh, that's an island vibe or that's a blues. He's mixing things together. It's a
all over the
bluesy
place.
island vibe, but we all talk about quoting these songs. I will be quoting this to my wife because my wife has this radiant smile. If she smiles, it just literally lights up the room.
Mm-hmm.
But when it says like raised down from the sun, when a new day has begun, you look like gold. Wow, what a lyric! I'm gonna say that to her tonight. 'Cause you know what? She's probably mad at me right now over something, so I'm gonna go home and go, baby.
You look like gold. Yeah, I love that song too.
And I think, "Burn One Down," even though it's kind of a pro-weed song, I think it's just more of a live, let live kind of song to me than just a weed song.
It
to
made me want to go back to it.
Yes, I wrote not against this message at all. I'm pro legalizing marijuana. Just I know that's just the way I fall on it.
What
but-
I enjoyed about that is his attitude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, but for me, I felt that it missed the mark musically because it was like it was on the cusp of reggae, but it didn't quite make it to reggae. And it made me a little anxious. I'm like, why should I be anxious about a song that's talking about dude? smoke a doobie and get relaxed.
Because his point would be that some people don't like his fire.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
That's
if you
what I
don't
like
like
about
it,
it. It's like,
hey,
yep.
Yeah.
If you're causing no harm, it's all right with me.
Yeah.
Love it or leave
Go
it.
do what you're gonna do.
I agree.
I don't know that you know how I am with lyrics. I took off points for that, man.
Yeah,
I took off points.
But I as a libertarian, not to get political, but libertarians are like, look, I don't care what you do in your own home, as long as it doesn't affect the rest of us. And that's basically what he's saying here.
Yep.
and
that's what
and leave me alone if
Yeah.
I want to do.
That's right.
You know?
Leave me alone. It's my life, your life, and let's just all be friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Ish.
There were a couple other songs. I can't think of it. I'm bad with titles, but when I look forward to it getting to that point in the album.
Yeah.
There were a couple songs that I could take or leave, and I did look at the lyrics. I was pretty happy with and what that did was freed me to enjoy the music of the album.
Right.
And I liked Another Lonely Day too. I thought it was just like just like a nice like storytelling song kind of.
Yeah.
To me, I like that. That's a good tune. Just kind of a mellow little tune. And
Well, I'm sure you know this, but his father was black, and his mother was Jewish, and I mean, obviously, he and his mother had a very tight relationship.
Yeah, because there's something there.
And they've got a music store that's got so many different kinds of instruments. You got to look that up.
I'm gonna have to
look up the documentary on him, and it's very cool because he was being asked by the interviewer when he wrote all these hundreds of songs, if he wrote them there, if he wrote them somewhere else. He said he's written songs in every corner of this place with all of these instruments.
Awesome.
And there's so many different kinds of instruments.
Well, how much inspiration is in a place like
man.
that? There'd be, just touch something, you're inspired. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like it is down here.
I love you. I love this down here. That's why when Andrew keeps
I
bringing
mean,
it up
we've
that we do
written-
it somewhere else.
we've written tons of hits down there.
Yeah, like Monoma Monoma.
Hi, Mama.
Monoma Monoma. That's going to be our hit song.
That's gonna be it.
Hitsville, USA.
That's
down
right.
there.
Put us over the top in
Yeah.
Utica.
The Haagen-Dazs Blues. Because of your Haagen-Dazs sign right there.
They can't see that. The live music, the sign's going on.
So I'll tell you, there is a moment. There's a couple songs on here that just kind of lost me. Although I love this is an art album. This is an art album by an amazing artist. There's so many good things lyrically. There's so many good things instrumentally. But for me, the bright shining moment is that chord progression, that chord movement, and "Give a Man a Home" during the verses. It goes where you don't expect it to go. And that first moment I heard it, I got chills. And it's rare that I get chills on a song anymore. But that one, I went, what did he just do? It was gorgeous.
Is this the first time you're hearing this album?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some reason I thought you might have heard this one before.
Yeah. I mean,
Now I know it's probably not the first time.
This
It's like your 50th time.
He's been on my radar ever
For
since
years, decades.
Tuesday.
you were there at his bar mitzvah. I can't even say it. Woo! I've had way too much
Hello.
of that. Bar mitzvah.
By mitzvah.
Here's to Korean coffee.
Look, so I have drunk a very strong Vietnamese.
Or
not
Vietnamese,
Korean.
sorry.
Yeah, Vietnamese cold
You
brew.
can't even
You're
say it.
saying
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
I'm usually a well-spoken man, but I'm telling you, this coffee has hammered me.
I tell you what. And it was what? It was Vietnamese latte.
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
You still can't say it right.
I said that right.
Vietnamese,
Work
not
it out.
Vietnamese.
Work it out. Come on,
Vietnamese.
go back
Yes,
to
it's
grammar.
Vietnam, not Vietman. Vietman.
Vietman.
Vietman.
Excuse me, Vietnamese.
No, not, you put the M later.
Whatever. It's South Asian cold brew. South Asian cold brew, and it hits you.
We're not laughing at you. We're laughing.
No,
at
you're
you.
laughing.
I'm laughing
me.
at him.
So and that's okay. We're I thought we were brothers, but anyway, it hits me. And somebody like me with freaking ADHD.
What is going on?
I don't know,
worm,
His
fishing
trinket,
worm.
his trinket broke.
My rubber band that helps keep me focused that I play with, it broke.
Oh, no
and now-
wonder
You know
you're
what that
beside
means,
yourself.
don't you?
So
Yeah,
my
Vietnamese.
mind, this coffee has hit me so hard that my mind is literally 10,000 miles an hour at the moment.
It's in
so I can't-
Vietnam.
Yeah, so Vietnam.
It's so far away. It's in
Vietmama,
Vietnam.
Vietmama. Anyway, bleep, we're way off track, and I look like a freaking blabbering idiot at the moment.
Well,
so
we'll let that.
I mean, we're 16 episodes into it. You're worried about that now?
you know, one of the things I love about this place.
Like my wife always says, a little too late to do the right thing now.
She is a wise woman. So she tells you that about the marriage? Is that what she said? One of the things I love about this group is...
That's why she made 600 cupcakes.
That's right.
She's like, I'm just gonna go and keep doing.
It's either make cupcakes or go crazy. So I love that we could poke fun at each other and not be mad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, that's a good.
Yeah.
I think that was on one of his songs.
yeah. I need that in my life right now.
Well, there you go.
Okay, so, all right, continue. I have.
I don't know
derailed
where
this.
I am. We're so derailed. I think it's almost scoring time.
Well, I can tell you.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound
I
good.
probably should expound.
Oh, man.
Wait,
Woo.
we got another 45 minutes.
Let me turn to 732.
He added stars in the last one, which
Yeah, and there's only 40 of them instead of
I know,
3,620.
it makes no sense how he does this. So,
Wait a
but I love-
minute. Hold still. Just stand by, okay? Don't get all excited. There you go.
A perfect score.
What?
He gives it one likey. Or no, that's I likey.
I like one lucky. Look,
One like
there you go. That's a shirt.
One like
That's a shirt. Let me go up here to our shirts. I gave it one likey.
I really did enjoy it. I'll listen to it again. I have been listening to some of it, just as I'm doing other stuff. I like it. I like it. That's how I have to talk to the dog. She only understands that
Baby talk.
language.
She only used to,
Yeah.
Andrew. When he and I worked together, I was like, we'd have all these people in the meeting, and I was using adult language, and I'd go, Andrew, can you wookie at us right now and make us a decision wishy?
And I'd go,
That's usually, you know. He'd
I
take
did
his-
not work with these two.
so anyway, have we got 3 questions now? Do we have questions?
You ask a question.
I don't have one.
Okay, I will ask. All right, you started a revolution.
Okay.
Okay, is this the music of your revolution?
Can be.
Yeah, it can
Can be
be.
fired up.
Well, I'm
Could
not talking.
be.
This wouldn't be a violent revolution. When I taught history, American history, and economics when Ethan was in high school. I got to teach it for 2 years, and what I used to tell him is, I am for a revolution at the ballot box. It doesn't have to be a bloody revolution like some of our founding fathers.
And I'm
Thomas
thinking,
Jefferson was like the tree of liberty is watered by blood of freedom. But anyway, but if I could see us going, hey, we're going to have a ballot revolution.
A revolution to leave me the F alone.
That's right. That's right. And get everybody on the same page and go, we need to love each other. We need to have smaller government.
R, not.
Right? And
Yes,
just-
leave me the R alone.
That's right. And this would be the soundtrack of that revolution. Yeah.
I think it could be.
Yeah. And then when they vote us in kings, the 3 kings.
We 3 kings.
Woo! All right. All right. Andrew?
Oh, God. I got a different question.
Okay.
Ooh, this is twice in a row that you've deviated. Are you okay?
Now, this seemed to be a very comedic episode. Do you think Ben Harper's music is funny to you?
I don't. and I, as much
I love the way he said that so snotty. Too.
yes, and as much as I laughed
Elitist.
during this episode, it was because of our
Derailment.
Our
derailment.
hijinks.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with Ben Harper.
Yeah,
I
I'm just
think he's a
Yeah.
I just had to poke
He's
you
a
guys.
first class.
Yeah, I do think it's an art album.
Mister.
Though. It's well done by a superior musician and lyricist. Yes.
And I think in our episodes we should remind our listeners what album we're talking about and what songs are on it, because we want them to listen to that music, not just our antics,
Yeah.
but listen to the music, because this is some good stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll broaden your horizons too,
Yeah.
because this one broadened. You know, I was aware of him. I've heard him. He's been on my radar, but I never went deep. And this was good.
Excellent.
I had the fewest notes this time of
It's amazing. I
any
know
other
it.
time.
You just seem pretty.
Well, there wasn't one R word in the whole
I
song.
know it,
in the
man.
whole
You had
album.
nothing to gripe about.
I know.
Me, grape.
You seem pretty happy with that album. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I
Excellent. Good.
Yeah, you picked a good one
It
for
was.
once.
All
I
right.
mean, this time.
Well, cake and
I
this
mean,
one, I guess, are my good
Yeah,
ones.
actually, yeah.
Or
you're not
widespread
doing
too. You
too
guys
bad.
like widespread too. That was a good one.
Yeah, you're batting pretty good batting average. Not 1,000, but you're batting pretty
Yeah.
high.
Hey, you know,
Well, I even listened.
200 in baseball is pretty good.
That's right. That's right.
I listened to Tragically Hip live, so you know,
Hey.
and that
I'll
was in
take that
honor
as
of
a
you
plus.
starting a new job, actually.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, on that high note, I appreciate you guys listening. Subscribe. Point to the right place, Bob. Subscribe.
Can they even see that?
Like Irish people, get on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
We
you're
want
number
to
5.
own Ireland, the best musical podcast in Ireland.
That's
Mama,
right.
mama.
3 Uncool Cats.
By this time our next recording session, you better have moved up from 5 to 2.
Nice.
In Vietnamese.
And drink your Vietnamese coffee. Listen to Ben Harper fart for your mind.
He did it again.
I can't get it out of my mind. You know what album it is.
5
Fart for your
stars.
mind. Fight for your mind.
Give us 5 stars.
Happy days.
Like what you like. Stay uncool. Deuces.